It's been a year. We've been here for, we flew to Romania last October 17, and this is October 17 today. So I figured I'd come on, give a little bit of an update. I said I would, last video I said I would give a bit of a, an update, and I also thought I would send a video out every other week. I didn't get that done. It's been a busy summer. It's, for me at least, starting a new job. It's taken a lot of time and trying to get things done around the house that I wanted to get done. But it seems like it's a good time now to kind of look back at how the year went, how things have been, and also what we're gonna do going forward. We're planning on flying. My family and I are planning on flying to America the beginning of next week for about 3 months to have our child. So it's gonna be sad to leave here. It's been a good place to us. We've really done a lot this year. We've come a long ways. There's a lot I've learned, a lot of mistakes I've made, a lot of places that it's just been good. It's been a really good year. I don't know how it could have really been better. Of course, there were some hard times, some things that are a bit difficult about living this far away from most of your family, about just about being here, but and in a country that doesn't speak your language, doesn't whatever. But there's a lot to look forward to, a lot I'm looking forward to getting done in the next, in the years coming on. Next year, hopefully we can get a lot done outside. We're all done our house. We've been moved in for about 5 months. I'll give you a little bit of a tour of that, take you around, show you what we got done, kind of just give a recap of the year, where it came from, what happened. So we moved in March. We moved over here in October 2017. We came over here last year, 2023. Started work about a month after we got here on the house, and then moved in March. A lot of the inside hasn't really gone beyond what it was then, but it's coming along. There's a lot to do, and we'll get that done later on. Hey, Helen, just stay here. But so basically what I wanted to do is, I said I'd put a video out every other week. I haven't done that. It's been a really busy summer. I started a job for the company I used to work for, and I was doing 3D renderings online, which has been a godsend, it feels like, as far as being able to support myself here. Come on, Helen. Helen's a little scared of the dog, of the cow. Just move out of the way then. Being able to support myself here and live here with something to do. So that's been a really good thing, but it's also taken a lot of time to learn the software, to learn what I'm doing, to learn everything and get it going. But at least I'm able to support myself. Figured I'd give a little bit of a history of where we came from Western Washington. Moved here, found this property about a year before we moved, and bought it, and we've been really blessed with a beautiful place to live. There's been some hard times, but it's been mostly very good. It has been really good. I always wanted to live closer to the land than I did in Washington, and it didn't seem like it was very easy to do. And it also looked like there was, just with the job I had and everything, there was spending all the time on the road and spending all the time in the city. It's, after a while you start getting a little bit of that, well, you could call it materialistic mindset and concrete and man-made things. It just, after a while, it just erodes your soul. So it felt like we needed to do something, to go somewhere. I always wanted to farm. I was raised on a very large farm, about 120 acres, and I always wanted to raise my children how I was raised, but that type of place is not very easy to find. So I looked at buying a place like that in upstate New York, close to my wife's family, but that deal fell through. And then we were looking at coming over here, and I'm glad we did. It's the language is hard. I need to learn the language a lot better. It's probably the biggest thing I need to do. But the way people live around here is a lot more how I want to raise my family. It's a lot closer to earth, a lot closer to nature. It's a lot more of an older lifestyle, especially in villages out of the city. The cities are industrial. They're like any other city in any other part of the world. It seems like globalization is real. It's spread. But out here, in the village, everybody's got chickens, everybody's got animals, everybody's got a big garden, very big gardens. It's just totally different from what I was used to in America. So the status quo, at least here, seems to be a little better. But there are some difficult things and some things that I really need to work on and to grow. The language is going to be important, like I said before, to get to know the language. But so anyway, we found this place here. We bought it. It was an old house built about 50 years ago, I think, and I kind of tore it apart, and I'll put some clips of doing that in here. I tore it apart, basically tore it down, most of it down, and then built the house, built an extension so that we can have room for our family, and then built built on top of it. So I'll put some clips of where that is. And then also this year, after we moved in, I tore down our old barn, knocked it all down to the ground, and then built a new barn. So the new barn is just out of 2x4s and tin. So it's what they call a pole barn, I think, or I don't really know the name for it in the States. But for my cow, I bought my cow. It's probably one thing that I bought her too soon. Didn't have a place to keep her when I bought her, but now I do have a place to keep her. So she lives in the barn, and I'll kind of show you that, tearing down the barn. I'll put some clips in here of that, of the work it took to just push the barn over and then build another barn. A guy from Canada that helped me build the house came and helped me build the barn too, so that was very nice. And then what else did I do? I used some of the posts from the barn or some of the beams from the barn for posts for the fence, and I need to build the rest of my fence. So I've got a lot of those posts left over that I want to use for a fence, kind of going the whole way around my property, so I don't have to have this electric fence running around my property. But the electric fence is working for now until I've got time to do more. Since we moved in, other things that I've done, I don't know, really. I'll try to think and try and kind of show you different processes and kind of probably talk over what I'm doing or however it is. We are planning on flying back. I might have said this before, but like flying back to New York in the beginning of next week to have another baby, and then hopefully come back here after about 3 months. I think I'm gonna miss this place. It seems like you start getting used to it. You get used to it starts feeling like home, especially once you put enough work into it, and it just really feels like yours and a place that you love. So I think I'll miss it. We found a place in New York that we're going to be fixing up. Maybe I'll put a video or two of fixing that place up too when we're back there. It doesn't need near as much work as this place I bought. It is older. It's about 1880s is when it was built. So it's a good bit older of a house, but we'll see how much work it does need. And I think it's mostly just drywall, and then the deal hasn't gone through yet, so we'll see if it closes by the time we get back there too. So there's a lot to see, a lot to do. There's a lot to dream about. Next year, hopefully, we're planning to kind of move outside and get a bigger garden, get the landscaping done around outside. I still need my floors in my house I want to replace, because it was a mistake putting in those boards that I did, because they were wet and they warped, and it's just not. They leave cracks, and it's just it doesn't work out that well. So I want to replace the floors, and I want to build a new fireplace, and I want to build a porch on the house. That's kind of going to be the next things to do. Maybe I'll make videos of that if I have time. I'm gonna try to prioritize it, but that's what I always say. So we'll see what happens, if it's worth if I have time, if I get around to it. But we'll see. I'll give you a little tour around of what the place looks like right now and what it's gonna look like when we leave, and also kind of just for me to remember how it looks when we come back around. So stay tuned for the tour. So here's a bit of a look around. First of all, I'll show you what the house looks like right now. We were able to get I think since the last video, get the stucco on. I hired a guy to do that. It took him forever. Wouldn't necessarily recommend him, but we got the stucco on at least and a final coat done. And then this is the inside of the house once I get the door opened. The living room as it is now. One of the other mistakes I made was putting down these floorboards. They warped like crazy, and so I have big cracks in my floor. I think I'm gonna go replace the whole floor sometime sooner or later whenever I get the money and time. So there's a look at what our living area looks like with the kitchen over there. And this would have been the old part of the house that I tore down, and the beams that I kept with steps going up the side to the upstairs. And we'll take you upstairs in just a little bit, but here's back the hallway and into the bathroom to this side. The bathroom is done, I think. Yeah, basically totally done. And I need to finish my office, which is what I'll show you next. I'm not totally done with that. As you can see, the trim around there and my makeshift curtain I have over the window because the sun would really come in. And then here's the railing or steps to go upstairs. So come on up. I made a little kitchen for my daughter's birthday this year, or little cabinets, and this is her showing them to you, what they look like. I used just scraps, pieces that I had around, so I think it cost me $10 or $50 lei to get the whole thing put together, but just with scraps because I had so many building materials. But just a little oven with a stovetop and 2 little drawers. And then this is kind of the children's play area on this side with bookshelves that are basically probably going to stay like that, and then I'll put a door in here, and this will be their bedroom. Right now they're sleeping in our bedroom over on the other side above the main house. And then this is a look out the window right now. And to take you a little back in time to earlier this summer, I tore down the barn, just piece by piece, ripped everything off and was able to destroy it. I had to do it mostly by hand because there's so much junk involved with it, and some of the timbers were put together weird. At first I thought maybe I'd build another barn out of my destroyed barn, but that the timbers weren't very straight and weren't very nice, so I decided that probably wasn't the best plan of action. So this is my mess after I got done with everything, and then I cut the boards in pieces, and we made a fence out of it, or I started to. I still have a lot of posts that I'm going to use. Here we are starting to build my barn. This is where I decided to put my new barn to house my cow, which I got way before I should have got her because I didn't even have a barn when I got her, but that's another story for another time. I had a guy that helped me actually frame the house. He came back out over and helped me put the barn together, so it went together pretty quick. He had to leave before the tin was on the sides, or I think, before the tin was on the sides. It was a bit back, so I don't remember quite exactly how it all went. But he had to leave before the tin was on the sides, and then I had to finish the rest myself, and then poured the floor over several weeks of just going out there a couple hours a day and pouring the floor while I was doing other things, fixing up my office, doing other things in the house. But then here is a bit of a look of how it looks like right now. I built that fence there out of this old barn timbers, and then this is what it looked like before I left. I kind of cleaned up the barn a little bit from this because I got rid of the cow and have the corn stalks in there for the winter and some hay up top. And there's a bit of a look around, and then back out into my field. So hopefully everything's all right. We flew back over to America to have the baby. We're gonna have a baby here in a week or two, and that's that.